Thank you, Pastor Porter. Thank you, Deacon Garrison. And let me offer you congratulations on your 125th Jubilee. Many of us were busy on Sunday, so we sent the mayor in. And we were glad that the entire council had some representation here in the form of our mayor, who was no stranger to Pilgrim. For me, I know almost everybody in this room on a first-name basis, but it's an honor to live and serve in this town. As a little kid, I spent every summer here in Red Bank on my summer vacation, and my folks were, I always refer to them as boat people. My dad always had some leaky sailboat. He would pack us on. It was kind of like a camping trip, and we would sail over from Staten Island and spend the first couple of nights in Sandy Hook, and then the big adventure was to come up the river at slack tide. We would tie up at the Molly Pitcher, and you were allowed to use the pool. You were allowed to use the snack bar that we used to have on the pool deck back there in the 1960s. Excuse me. So when I met JP and moved to Red Bank 21 years ago, it was sort of like coming home. And I always thought, how fortunate am I to live in the town that I had all of these happy childhood memories with. I am one of 4 children. I have an older brother and an older sister. I'm wearing pink tonight because she was battling breast cancer right now. And it is a sort of a family responsibility, as Pastor Porter and my younger sister Jean are good friends and have worked together over the years. Jean is running back and forth, between New Jersey and where my sister is down in Maryland to help care for her, which leaves me with the responsibility of taking care of my 90-year-old mother. And I sent JP out yesterday while we were busy with Halloween festivities here in town to take care of my mom. My mom still lives in the house I grew up in. She is 90 years old. She was a pharmacist. She graduated from the School of Pharmacy at St. John's University in 1949, one of 6 women, and only one of 3 who got licensed to practice. And Mom worked part-time as the local druggist and put us all through school and high school. And my dad had a business across the street from where my mom practiced pharmacy as the local printer. So I grew up in the printing trade. And when I graduated from high school, I went off to college in upstate New York, really not far from where Linda grew up, on the shores of Lake Ontario, where it is really, really cold and made me not miss winter at all. But it's one of the things I love about living here on the Jersey Shore, especially now that summer is a little longer. For those of you who enjoy local summer like I do, you get to run out to the beach and not have to pay a fee. So I moved to Red Bank 21 years ago, and one of the things that got me involved, and I keep thinking about Pastor Porter's question, but why do you want to serve? I've served because I really, honestly, and truly believe that my voice mattered. I spent an awful lot of time standing outside of the post office with a group from the UUCMC at the Unitarian Church and my good friend Boris Kaufman here in town, protesting the Iraq War back in the early 2000s. In the meantime, I was writing scathing letters to the editor against the overdevelopment of our town that I felt that our former mayor, Ed McKenna, was committing. And one of the things that Ed and I argued toe-to-toe on was the importance of historic fabric in this community. So I became a member of the Historic Preservation Commission, where Ed appointed me to it because he finally understood where I was coming from and how important it is to see all of our buildings adaptively reused. One of the most exciting things that's coming down the pike is the Anderson Moving and Storage Building over by the railroad tracks that will be converted into a new Sickles Market, and the commercial office space in the building, and the building itself will stay intact. And those are the kinds of things that I worked on while I was on the Historic Preservation Commission, in creating the Washington Street Historic District and fighting for the T. Thomas Fortune House, which will become the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center. It's one of 2 national landmarks we have in this town, and most importantly, it is only one of 2 African-American national landmarks in the state of New Jersey. So we look forward to that happening. I know Mr. James is here, and he has been instrumental in helping that become a reality. So I thank you for your commitment. What I bring to the table on the local level is my past professional experience as a facilities manager and operations manager. I worked for 25 years in New York City for international law firms running business operations sides. And JP used to say, I don't pay you enough to do this, when they would call at 3:15 in the morning and say, hey, Mr. Zipprich, there was a pipe that broke on the 17th floor. And you'd have to think on your feet, although you were laying on your back with the phone to your ear, and you'd say, did anybody shut off the water? So I have been charged with being the liaison to the Public Works Department. And it's not a glamorous job, but it's one that I enjoy. It's something that I know from my professional experiences. Roads, infrastructure, sewer, water. Yes, it's really true that that stuff does all flow downhill out. I'm proud of the work that our DPW team does here in town. I have supported them in their efforts to make sure that our roads are paved, that we have clean water, and that our treatment facilities are up to par. And I really would like to continue to serve, to finish the mission that I've started in rebuilding the infrastructure, making sure that the roads are paved, and that, as Michael Ballard mentioned earlier, that our kids have a safe place to go and teams to enjoy and participate in, because I have spent an inordinate amount of time over the course of the last 10 years raising money for our public school kids. Proudest moment this year was when 2 playgrounds were installed at the primary school. Those kids down there haven't had a playground in many years, and I know Tom, we've had kids benefit from that, and those are the kinds of things that really encourage me to serve for another 3 years in town, because the kids are our future. We need to teach them, we need to encourage them to participate, they need to learn how to work together as a team, and they will one day be standing where I'm standing and leading our town further into the future. So thank you very much.